What I did. We've been having issues. Now, the time is going, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it was before too. So, no, what's happening, folks, is I've been making recordings, and then my beautiful wife tries to check them, and they're not there, or they're just the last 10 seconds. Yoo-hoo. Oh, well, I guess you can stay. What we were talking about last time, and I hope this is viewable. Was atoms. We know what they are. As far as having a proton with so many, a nucleus with so many protons and so many electrons going around. Sorry. And ions, which are by far, I should say by far more important, but they're atoms, of course, as we know, that has lost or gained electrons, but which are critical in the metaphysical world, which are critical in the grand scheme of things, and especially in the human body, as we will get into much deeper later. But I think before we start talking about different aspects of the metaphysical and the alternative medicine world and what makes you tick, we were talking about elements before and how the number of protons in the nucleus determines which element it is. So we're going to go through some. Now, there's 103 of them. We certainly aren't going to do them all. We're going to do maybe 20, 25 or so. But they're the ones critical to life and to the universe. We start, I got to see how this looks. It has, this is always the nucleus. This will be our nucleus with, in this case, one proton in the middle. Well, actually, it is the nucleus in this case, with one electron. As I think we all know, we'll do that. Okay, it's got this one little electron going around. And this is, as I think we know, hydrogen. Hydrogen gas, which is the simplest element. They don't come any simpler. And hydrogen is about, maybe 0.2% of the atmosphere that we breathe, that you breathe in. You're constantly breathing in hydrogen. But hydrogen, likes to have its outer shell filled, or the one electron gone. Yes, please. And so he likes to lose this electron, and the actual ion is H+. He loses this electron, and basically, a hydrogen ion is just a proton. This is super critical in biochemistry. You have hundreds of trillions of hydrogen ions in you. Okay? Because he likes to lose that one, and it just becomes a proton. Now, what we're going to do here is I'm going to make this 2. And of course, there's 2 electrons going around it. This is, of course, helium. Helium gas, which is about the same amount of smallness as far as in the atmosphere. You breathe it in every time. Of course, it's the one that if you breathe in pure helium, it makes you talk funny. We've all done it at one point or another, I think. Helium, now notice the first shell can only hold 2 electrons. That's one of the laws. Helium has 2. He's happy. Most chemical reactions and biochemical reactions happen because the outer shell is not full. And it's either trying to lose electrons or gain them to get the outer shell filled. Helium, as one shell is filled, it's happy. Therefore, helium doesn't react with anything. Helium is just helium, and you won't hear of any helium compound or a compound that helium is part of because he's got no electrons to share and he doesn't want any. So he's very stable. And what I'm going to do here is make it 3 protons, so you know this element. Excuse my drawing. Are we still going? Yes. Has a 3rd electron, 1, 2 in the first shell, and 1 in that second shell. This is lithium, Li. There's the first metal. We've all heard of lithium ion batteries, and this likes to become an ion easily because he wants the first shell, or the outermost shell rather, to be either, he wants it to be full, but if he loses this electron and it goes somewhere else, then his outer shell becomes that first shell, and he's happy. But because you have 3 charges and you lose the 1 electron, you got more positive than negative, and it becomes lithium plus. It's got 1 extra plus charge than electrons when it loses that electron. Normally, it's balanced. It's 3 and 3, but he will give that electron up because he wants a full outer shell, which in this case is the first shell with 2. So that's the lithium ion, and like I said, that is, when you hear of lithium ion batteries, it's exactly what you're dealing with. So let's do 4. So we got 4 protons, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the first shell has 2, the second shell has 2, but the outermost shell can hold up to 8, the second shell. So whoever this is, isn't very happy about this. And this is Be, or beryllium, which is another metal. And he likes to lose these 2, so he will become 2 plus. Because this electron will kick off, that electron will kick off. He'll be left with only the first shell with 2, which becomes his outer shell. He's happy. And the ion becomes beryllium, and it's written as 2 plus. Not plus 2, 2 plus. Now what I'm going to do here is, instead of keep putting pluses in the nucleus, I'm just going to put the number of protons. We're now up to 5. Okay, so we got 1. Actually, I'm going to redo this a little bit here, just so it's clear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th electron. 5 protons, 5 electrons. This is boron. One of the more, it's really that, there's a little bit of boron in you. It's more important in the universe, and in, it's like a mineral. And it's in a lot of stones and crystals and that type of thing. But as far as the biochemical part of what we're trying to do is, I don't want to say it's meaningless, but you have a little bit of boron in you, but not much. The next one is the basis of life. 6. 6 protons, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 electrons, of course, the famous carbon, of which we are based on. 2 in the first shell, 4 in the second shell, And he either wants to lose these 4 or gain 4 more. And that's why so many other chemical or other elements that have an extra electron or want to give one up bond very easily with carbon. And what happens is, okay, remember hydrogen had, there's the proton that had the 1 electron going around it. Well, he likes to hook up with it. You'll do this. Imagine that 4 more times. Or 3 more times, I'm sorry. We're total of 4. So he will, like, other chemicals, other elements really like to bond with carbon because carbon is more than willing to take them. Matter of fact, our next video will be on bonding because it is the heart of biochemistry, the heart of alternative medicine, the heart of biology, is the heart of the universe, basically. So we're going to get into, and I see it's going out of focus. There we go. Are we still going? Yeah, okay. Sorry about that. I'll keep looking to make sure it hasn't gone out of focus. Go up to 7, another electron, and that happens to be nitrogen. Nitrogen is actually, I take that back. About 70%, 78% of our atmosphere. In other words, 78% of the air that you breathe in and breathe out every day with every breath is nitrogen. The other 20% is oxygen, and the remaining 2% is a mix of helium, hydrogen, and some other gases we'll get to in just a minute. And when we go up to 8, it's oxygen, another electron. How many do we have in the outer shell now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 in the outer shell. So oxygen will combine with 2 other elements real easy to get this up to 8. He likes that. He likes that a lot. Of course, we all know how important oxygen is. It's what our cells burn for energy, and it combines with many other chemicals, many other elements. So now let's go up to 9. Element number 9. 1 more electron. Fluorine. Fluorine is the most, what they call, electronegative element that there is. And what that means is he's got 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in the outer shell. He only needs 1. And he wants it. He will combine with anyone to get that 1 electron. So he has 8 in his outer shell. When he gets it, he becomes F minus, or F, it's actually F, actually, it would be written as F1 minus. Because he has 1 more electron than he does protons. But this fluorine ion is very critical to the human body, as we will find out with all these at a later time. This is just meant to give you some introduction, so that when you hear of elements, you know what they are, and so you won't sit there and say, "Whoa, I never heard of that before." Okay. Now, things get interesting when you get to 10. 1 more electron. Outer shell is now full, 8. And that is neon gas, which is another small percentage of the area that you breathe. Yeah, it glows. We all know about neon lights if you pass current through it. But that's it. That's all it does. Neon, with it, like helium, with the outer shell being filled, he's very chemically non-reactive. The neon combines with nothing. Okay? Now, when we get up to 11, first shell is filled with 2, which is the most it can handle. Second shell, It's got 8, the most it can handle. So in comes the third shell. This is sodium, Na. Sodium, and which, as you can imagine, it likes to lose that electron, so that this will become its outer shell and be full. So he loves to lose that electron, and it becomes Na plus, or 1 plus. Let me rewrite that properly. One of the most critical ions, as a matter of fact, the next few, one of the most critical ions in the human body. Which, when we get in the body, you'll see how, remember we talked about NaCl and how it makes salt. We're going to get into really how it does that. But in addition, this ion is critical to your heart. Without it, your heart doesn't beat, you don't move muscles, and you die. It's that simple. Sodium is so involved with nerve transmission, and not sodium the atom, but the ion. Because with these ions, as soon as they hit water, that's when they dissociate. In other words, that's when table salt becomes a sodium ion and a chlorine ion. So this, I can't overemphasize the importance of this, including the next one. And that's magnesium. Magnesium is also critical to your heart, part of your bones. The list goes on and on as far as how important it is. And so, since it has 2 in the outer shell, it likes to lose them both. So once again, this becomes the outer shell. So the magnesium ion is Mg2 plus. Once again, very, very critical. I'm gonna put over here Na plus Mg2 plus. These are the ones that are really important to the human body and to to you biochemically. Now, kind of an aberration. When we get to 13, another electron. This is a metal. Aluminum. And yes, you do have a little bit of aluminum in you. And its ion is 1, 2, 3, because it likes to lose those 3. So it becomes 3 plus. The aluminum ion. Very small, minuscule amounts in the human body, and of course, in many of these elements, in any great amount, are also very deadly. So it's a fine line our bodies take or walk from time to time. Okay, 14, another electron. Silicon. Silicon, which you have small amounts of in your body, but the importance of silicon is it's the first of what they call the semiconductors for electronics. It's what integrated circuits are made out of and like. And the reason for that is you got 1, 2, 3, 4 in the outer shell. It likes 8, so electricity will pass through, making up the other 4. Let me explain this about electricity in case you don't know this. It actually is, electricity is the flow of electrons. Electrons only. They're just electrons, trillions of them, but there's no protons. Electricity is just pure electrons with force behind them. And they like to flow through silicon because silicon has this 4 open, and then they move out, and then the next 4 move in, and that's what gives you your current flow. Get to 15, another electron, and that is phosphorus. Very important very critical to, it likes to combine with a lot of chemicals, and it is an extremely important chemical or element in your body, especially as far as your bones, your your skeleton, your even with this is another one with the heartbeat and the like. Okay, now I'm up to 16. 16 protons, 16 electrons, 2 in the first, 8 in the second, and 6 at this point in the outer shell. This is sulfur. Sulfur, I think everyone knows how much sulfur is. They think of the rotten egg smell and the like. Well, sulfur is actually very critical to what we call enzymes. They're a critical part of what we call what proteins are made of, which is amino acids. Much more sulfur in you than you think. The actual total amount is not phenomenal, but it's critical, which we'll all get into later. I'm going to put up here S2 minus, because that's the actual ion that's important with sulfur. The next one, we'll go to 17. One more electron. Chlorine. Chlorine, which is a green gas, which is, if you happen to ingest it or drink it or breathe it, is, we're not talking about, pool chlorine, because that's too diluted. But pure chlorine kill you within minutes. Notice this shell, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He has got room for 1, so he would become 1 minus when he gains that 8th electron in the outer shell, and he loves to do it. And sodium loves to give it to him. That's why we're talking salt. But other than that, chlorine is also an important ion inside the human body. I can bring some white cloths with me next time. 18. And that is simply argon. Argon is an inert gas. Its outer shell is completely filled with 8. It's just like helium and neon. It's happy. Argon does not chemically combine with other elements because he's as happy as can be. Now, I probably should have done this otherwise, but okay, we're going to go to 19. Yeah, the first shell has 2, second shell has 8, third shell has 8, and then you got to go, and unfortunately, as they say, not drawn to scale, but forgive me, in the next element, that next electron goes there. This is potassium. And as you can well imagine, he likes to lose that electron and become K+. Super, super critical ion to the human body, which we will get into. These all are. Good old potassium. Let's go to 20. And we got to put one more in the outer shell. And yeah, here we go again. Calcium. I think we all know about calcium and what they talk about with osteoporosis, and because calcium is a critical part of your bone structure, and it's mainly phosphorus and calcium, and you can't absorb one without the other in your digestive system. And as you can see, we got 2 in the outer shell of calcium, so it likes to lose those, so it becomes calcium 2+, and that definitely goes over here. All right, Now, I'm going to skip some here because, for example, we have 22. Okay, we go up to 22, which would be 2 more electrons also. That's titanium. Not really critical, which, it's important for making airplanes, but for what we're concerned about, no. When we go to 24, let me do that. Of course, we need 2 more electrons, and that is chromium. And whereas it is a metal, it is critical. It is absolutely critical to your red blood cells and carrying oxygen to and from your lungs to your body and carrying away the carbon dioxide that you make. So very important. Once again, though, the amounts in the human body are very small, but it's very important. And just the rest of these, I'm just going to go through quickly. 25 is manganese. Need 1 more electron. Let's see, we should have 25. That's correct. Manganese, though, is, believe it or not, an important. It's kind of more of a mineral. It's found in a lot of crystals and that type of thing in stones, but it is critical also in the human body. It's not found everywhere, but where it's needed, it's critical. 26. Iron. Epi. Ferrous. Another electron. Few elements are more important in the human body, though the amounts that you have are very minuscule. You only absorb like 20% of the iron that you actually ingest. It's one of those elements, yes, you can definitely overdose on them. When we get into vitamins, we will learn much more about how iron really works in the body. It's critical to red blood cell production. Once again, the amounts you have are not much, but you couldn't live without them. And just so that you know, you go to 27, another electron. That's CO, which is cobalt. And then when you go to 29, which would be 2 more electrons. Cu, copper. Copper is probably most known for that's what most wire is made of because it carries electricity very easily. But once again, there is copper inside you that it serves a function, which we will discover when we do all these. If you add 1 more, and 1 more electron. Zinc. Zinc is the element where zinc is a major part of enzymes, and we will go going through enzymes extensively, what they do, how they do it, and zinc is an important factor in making enzymes and an important factor in how enzymes do what they do. That's the main ones, especially from the biochemical and metaphysical end that we want to cover. I do want to mention, first of all, remember the first shell can hold 2, second shell can hold 8, third shell can hold 8, the fourth shell can hold up to 16 electrons. And when we get past that, then there's a fifth shell that goes around. when you finally get up to this is just kind of for fun. When you get to 56, that's good old barium. You know, if you ever had an upper GI, you know, we had to do the barium swallow so they could have a look at your stomach and your maybe part of your small intestine. That's, you know, that's it. 56 protons, 56 electrons going around it. Also, we cut that back to 47. It's one that an element that a lot of people like. Ag, silver. Silver has 47 protons, 47 electrons going around. I'm not drawing any electrons at this point, but I think you get the idea. When you get up to 79, yeah, imagine this particular atom's got 79 protons, 79 electrons going around it, and it's electrically neutral because the two are equal, and those 79 protons are packed in the nucleus trying to get away from each other, but the strong force is holding them in. Anyway, Au, otherwise known as gold. And if you just increase it by 1, 80, with one more electron going around it, Hg, mercury, quicksilver, deadly. Don't like any of this in you. And there's none in you naturally. But, yeah, I find it interesting. You go from 79 to 80, you go from gold to mercury. Two totally different metals. And let's see, finally, when you get up to 82, is that right? Yeah. PV, lead. Your proverbial, I don't call it a lead pencil. There isn't a atom of lead in a lead pencil. It's carbon. And finally, when you get up to, where are we at? Where did you go? 92. We got to 92. Uranium. Highly radioactive. But these are the major. There's more. And I see we're out of. There we go. These are the major ions that we will be talking about as far as their operation in the human body. And our next show, we're going to be doing bonding. How all this, you know, because it's the making and breaking of the bonds between elements that makes life possible as we know it. See you then.